friends, I'm Melissa Sievers, so I am Isaac's mommy, and I am so glad to visit with you. I wish I could be in the classroom with you all, but I would like to tell you about an instrument that I learned to play when I was 10 years old, so a little bit older than you guys are now. When I was in 5th grade, I thought that it would be really fun to learn the flute, and that's when kids learned to play an instrument so that they could be in band in school. So the flute looks like a really long pipe, and it's called, it's a member of the woodwind family. And the reason why it's part of the woodwind family is musicians have been playing flute-like instruments for a really long time, and they used to take pieces of wood and drill a hole essentially down through the wood, and then they put holes in the wood so that air can move through it. And actually, what was probably used first were reeds. So reeds are tall grasses with thick walls, and so sometimes they'd cut notches into the grass to move the air. So something that you guys maybe have tried before is, you know, when you finish your soda, have you ever tried to do this? Music is made on flutes by blowing air across the mouthpiece. Can you see this hole right here? Much like a bottle. So I can only play one note with this bottle. An empty bottle produces kind of a low sound. But if you put water in it, if we fill up the bottle a little bit, we'll fill it about halfway full. Can you hear how the sound kind of went up? It's a little bit higher pitch. So then that's a way to make another note by blowing air across the top, the opening of the bottle, and then the air swirls down inside of the bottle, and it doesn't have very far to go because it's half full of water. So you could fill up a number of these bottles with different levels of water, and maybe this is something you might get to do with your teacher sometime, and then you could have a whole bunch of notes. So then you can only play one note at a time. So that's kind of inconvenient. Sometimes people would make pan flutes, and maybe you could look up pan flutes. So remember I said that the original flutes were reeds? Well, you could cut reeds or straws to different lengths, and then each of those pipes would be a different note. And then you could go back and forth, blowing air across each of them and make different notes. Now the flute is really handy because there's just one hole that I need to blow through. But do you see these keys across the flute? So by pushing these keys closed and letting some of them open, I can change what the note sounds like. So I'll start with A. So it's been a long time since I've last played flute regularly, so I'm a little bit rusty. But I still like to get my flute out to play once in a while. So another thing, I understand that Miss Casey played her ukulele for you. Now the nice thing about guitars or pianos is you can play more than one note at a time. So with the piano, I'm at a piano right now, I can play, you know, I have 10 fingers, so I could play 10 notes at a time, And usually you can play like 3 notes at a time to make a chord. So where I could play something like this. Wow. Sorry. Again, a little rusty. I don't play very often. So if you can see on this paper, this is the music. This has all of the notes that I needed to play to be able to play the song Are You Sleeping? And each group of notes was 3 in a lot of cases, and then only 2 in some. So that's the nice thing about playing piano. Now, with the flute, I can only play 1 note at a time. So I have to pick one of those lines. And so another thing that's interesting about the flute is I can make what's called a G note, and by blowing air slowly, I make a low sounding G. But if I use the same fingering and blow the air faster, I can change what note comes up. And then if I blow it even faster, I can get a really high note that might make your dogs bark. That's a really, really high G. And so that's a really interesting thing, I think, about musical instruments, is that the way you play them can change how they sound. So I'll play a couple more songs for you that maybe you've heard before. Let's see. Did you recognize Mary Had a Little Lamb? I hope you did. And I'll do one more song. At the end of every band practice, we would have to take care of our instruments and put them away so that they stayed clean. So the thing that I liked about the flute is that it's nice and lightweight. It doesn't take up much space. So when we would be in marching band, it wouldn't be very heavy for me to walk miles carrying my flute, and it wouldn't wear my arms out. Sometimes my cheeks might get a little sore from making like I'm going to whistle all the time. So it takes your cheeks a little bit of time to get used to playing the flute. And then my case, nice small case. In order to go back in the case, my flute just breaks apart in 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. And when you're whistling, you're spitting, you get a lot of saliva going, and so you don't really want to leave your saliva in your instrument. So it's important to clean it. And so at the end of every practice session or concert, we all have these sticks, and it's like a big needle sort of, except for it's not sharp on this end. So we just have a handkerchief that we pull through, and then we just clean our instrument. And how we take care of our flutes before we play is important too. We always brush our teeth. You always brush your teeth before you play or practice your flute, because if you get food particles in the instrument, see, each key has a pad so that it can close the hole tight. And if you play the instrument with food in your mouth, you could get food particles stuck in those places. And then you just clean it like that, and then it goes back in the case like that, and you just close it, and then you're all set to go. So again, I'm sorry I can't be there with you guys, but if you have any questions, then your teacher can shoot me a note. So remember, I lost, oh, here it is. Remember, you can practice your whistling skills, and you can make your own little flutes with bottles at home. So enjoy learning about music, guys, and have a great day. Thanks for letting me share with you. Okay, bye-bye.